You are now dialed in with the Dial Brothers.
What's up?
What's up? How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Awake?
Yep, because remember it's an hour earlier for you. It's 6 a.m.
I never set alarms. I have to set an alarm for this because I wake up at 6:30, but to be ready, for the people, for the listeners, for the viewers, I set an alarm.
That's good. I think we've, at least last week and this week, we've been on time.
Yeah, no, we have. I was looking at the intro and I was like, should we take a different picture for season 2?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take it together.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to do that. Or I'm just saying,
Well,
just schedule
we'll
it.
have 2 months to do it. So
Yeah, it'll just have to be during the holiday time, I guess, whenever you come into town.
did you say into the town?
I said into town.
Oh, I'm like, all right now, into the town, like we live in the backwoods or something.
No. So it is October the 9th. What's going on?
What episode is this? 36?
Yep.
See, I'm keeping up, man. My job. I'm just waiting for my Super Bowl. So I've just been eating, breathing, sleeping, politics, which is fun for me. It's stressful for some other people, but it's fun for me. So I did a cool story last week. I think I sent y'all the link. It's a magnet school in Dallas, and all of the kids are not 18 yet, but they were registering 18-year-olds to vote in the cafeteria. It was pretty cool. And I started the interview, and I said, if you think, I mean, all these kids are super smart. Want to go to Penn and Georgetown and Duke and all that stuff. And I started by asking them, oh, well, which one of you guys wants to be a politician when you get older? And they were like, no.
Yeah.
It just shows that like people care about like being involved in the process, but a lot of people aren't aspiring to be politicians anymore. They just want to do their part, which is important, but they don't want to be a politician. So it's interesting. It was a really good story. I really liked it.
Yeah, and I think people like that, they young, they say they don't want to be one. They'll grow up and be one.
Man, I did a story, not to make this a news block. I did a story last week, and I was talking to the mayor of it's a city in this area that has 70,000 people, so not super small. The mayor looks older than he is. This mayor was
white.
He's 25. He got on council when he was 18. I was like, oh, wow. Like he looks as old as me. Like I hope that's not offensive to him, but he looks mature.
Is he white?
Yes.
They tend to look more mature for their age.
Don't say they.
They do.
Some black people may look more mature for their age.
People, the Dialers out there, fam, y'all know what I'm saying. You know,
I'm just saying,
our lighter hue brothers and sisters do tend to look more mature. They do. That's not insulting.
It could be.
Well,
what you're saying is they look older. I just text you a picture of him.
Okay, what we say is black don't crack. Don't we say that?
Yeah.
You know, so why do we say that? Because obviously people think that it doesn't.
Does he look 25?
Yeah. He well, I guess just because I've seen some, but yeah. If you said he was 35, you would believe it.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought he was at least 30. Like I was like, oh, are you 29? Because I heard he was really young. I was like, oh, are you 29? He was like, no, graduated from college last year. I was like, oh, wow. I think
he's a mayor.
Or 2 years ago. Yeah. And he's in his second term, I think. Like he just won re-election. So
well, good for him.
Hey, the people there like him. And it's interesting because that community has a lot of older people. So
Yeah.
like some older people don't like young leadership, super young
I
leadership.
know.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, I know. I,
Uh,
I know.
it shocks me that the people who are still like, I mean, I've been posting about this show and stuff, but like some of my coworkers come up to me and they're like, "Man, I love the name of your podcast." Like you're seeing it for the first time or something.
Mm.
And they're like, I was like, yeah. I was like, my brother kind of pigeonholed me because if I like go cable or something, I can't use this name, or I'll have to
You have
tell
to
you.
buy it from me.
Okay, you don't own the name.
Yeah, we do. So
We do. Okay, so
you
how
have
would I
to
buy it from
buy
you?
out my half.
How much is that?
Well, which today isn't worth much.
So I might need to buy it now. Next season, it's going to be called something else.
No.
Because dialed in is a really catchy phrase.
Yeah, you just have to come up with something else.
One of my main anchors, she always walks by and she either says Texas The Issue Is, which was my politics show, or she'll be like dialed in. It's catchy. It's catchy.
I think a fun fact, I don't know if people know, other than people who've asked me and I told them, that the voice at the beginning, Steven worked some type of audio magic, and that's him talking. It's not. Oh,
see, now when people hear that, I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell that's him.
I don't think so. Well, I can't tell, but I don't know.
In the category of Steven's mean to old people, Jesse Jackson turned 83 yesterday. You thought I was about to say he died. No, Jesse Jackson.
I didn't know what you was about to say when you said Steven's mean to old people. I didn't know what you was about to say.
He turned 83 yesterday. He is, in the words of your mother and tons of black people, he is so young. So young.
That's being sarcastic.
Yes, because I got into it with one of my managers is a black woman, sits across from me. And when Sissy Houston died, I was like, okay, she was 91. She was like, stop saying that. Because I've said that for like the last couple of weeks about people who have died. And she was like, stop saying that. And I'm like, she was 91. All right, people.
Mm.
I guess this is just gonna be a weekly Steven talking about all right, people. Like she was 91. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's still sad when you think about somebody who's been a big part of your life or society or whatever. And then when they pass, and I think the other thing, I think we forget about these people. And then you hear that they passed away, and it's like, oh my God, they but honestly, I didn't even really remember that she was still alive.
Right. I mean, 91. That's a good life, I'm getting a new camera next week, so I get tired of this autofocus. What did you say?
I said not George Bush, even though George Bush is still alive, but Jimmy Carter, he's still pushing. I'm saying he didn't just clock out the day after his birthday. He's still here.
He's still breathing.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know what all we talking about today, but
I don't either.
I don't know if this could segue into politics, or we kind of already was talking about politics, but about the whole him voting for Kamala Harris thing. But it's interesting to me, and I'm surprised somebody like Donald Trump hasn't really said, or maybe he has, I just haven't seen it. They've done interviews, or I've seen a couple of interviews of people in his family, and they talk about how he can't really talk, he can't really do much. And so I'm like, well, how is he gonna vote? Even though I know he's just mailing it in.
Yeah.
But still.
I think there's something where you can like assist a disabled person.
Okay,
I mean, heck, you've worked at
I was just about to say, now I have a little experience working the polls, and I remember when I was living in Alabama, and I would go to vote with Grandma Catherine. Now, those people still had to be functional. I mean, they couldn't be. If he's how they say he is and how he looks in pictures and videos, that man is not telling them.
Okay, well, one, I don't think state of Georgia is going to challenge one ballot from Jimmy Carter.
No, I guess I'm just saying
his grandson or something is going to write it in. Yeah.
Okay, because if you want to be technical,
Jimmy Carter ain't filling out the ballot.
I
Let's be
understand
honest.
that. I understand that. Our 100-and-something-year-old great grandmother, if
She
you want to
could
be,
walk and stuff.
if you wanted to, yeah, but I'm saying if you want to be technical, I'm the one who voted for her. I pushed the button. I'm saying, but she
Why
was
you
standing
push the
right
button?
there, huh?
Why'd you push the button?
Because she was saying it was too much for her to, and she just said, "You do it."
See, that was voter fraud.
No, we fill out just well, I don't know how it is in Texas, but in Georgia, at least, when
Mhm.
you go, if you're assisting somebody, you have to sign something, you know, in saying that you putting your name on it, saying
Mhm.
that you're assisting them. At least here in Georgia, we don't ask like what's wrong with them. It's
Right.
just you
Yeah.
and in person, typically you can see, oh, the person's elderly or they're disabled. But I think it gets
Mhm.
to be tricky because what's the disability?
Right. Right.
That
Because like, okay, what if someone's on a ventilator? I don't
they
know.
can't voice their opinion.
Correct. I guess you voting on their behalf. Well,
That's what I'm
then you get
saying.
into all this conspiracy stuff and
Yeah. So I'm just saying because it's so contentious, I think it just looks weird of like, he is not telling y'all he wants you to vote for Kamala Harris.
well, I don't think he telling them he want to vote for Donald Trump either. So
I know, but the fact is he's not saying anything. So you going and voting on his behalf, that's a little
I'm not gonna say the person's name, but I just gotta hold on. Let me this part of the show too. I'll tell you about my phone, but I got a text that said I didn't sign anything, but they were also not paying any attention. Dad was like, "Come on, you know I can't see the words."
yeah. Oh wait, do I know the person?
Yeah,
Oh, I think I know who you probably talking about. Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's it's just crazy how like things like voting and it's so crazy how like people this was a boring process. This wasn't talked about. People didn't say, "Oh, there's fraud." That like this is so
You
new.
talking about before Trump?
Yeah,
Oh,
like I have to read his book. Chris Wallace, who now works for CNN, he was talking about his new book is like the lead up to 1960, is the presidential race between Nixon and JFK, which that election, and he was like, I'm not gonna outright say it, but like everyone said, that election actually was stolen. Like the mob helped
What's the name of you
JFK
said Chris?
win.
Is it out yet? The book?
Yeah, well, I would assume it's out if she Caitlin Collins had him on last night. So I would assume it's like the run up to the 1960 election or something. I gotta buy it.
Yeah, I've been trying to get into listening to audiobooks and I listened to one last week.
Well then do that. But the mob actually did help JFK win. Like this is a fact driven narrative. But he was talking about how it's like parallel to now because like there was claims of fraud, but Nixon still just did a peaceful transfer of power. He didn't tell people to attack the Capitol. You know, did you find it?
Yeah, I had a credit, so I just bought it.
Mm.
But it's 14 hours long.
I mean, it's probably 400 pages. How long you can read 400 pages?
What I'm saying, the book I listened to last week was titled "The Mountain Is You." It was only 5 hours.
How many pages was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've been trying to read more. You should definitely. I gave it to someone as a housewarming gift. Love and Whiskey is a good book, y'all. It's the woman who started Uncle Nearest.
Oh yeah, I wanna read that.
I read that in 2 days.
Fawn Weaver, I like her.
I read it in 2 days, and I'll admit I'm not a great reader. I don't enjoy because Daddy told me don't ever say you don't like reading. Reading is not a hobby for me. I've been trying to read more, and that book I literally read in 2 days. Bought it from Target, read it in 2 days. It's a good book.
Did you get one of the signed copies?
No, I thought she signed the ones in the airport.
Oh,
She said when she sees them in the airport, she signs them.
no, she was trying to get. Well, she did get. She in the Guinness Book of
Oh
World
yeah,
Records,
yeah.
and she signed all those books But I don't know
Yeah.
where they went. Like I don't know what.
I don't know either. And I would assume they're gone by now. But it's a good book. If y'all don't know the story, and she tells it, the Jack Daniels people were nervous that she was going to be telling the story from the angle of like,
slavery.
yeah, when when they finally admitted that a black man helped Jack Daniels make Jack Daniels. Some people thought, oh, he was a slave. He wasn't. They were friends. And when Uncle Nearest passed, Jack Daniel hired his sons and his family to work for him for years. So the story is about one discovering that a black man made the drink that a lot of y'all drink, and then two, the
Do
bond.
you not like Jack Daniels?
I drink it. I mean, like Jack Daniels nowadays, that's your standard pour. That's not, if you're trying to spend money. Like Jack Daniels is a cheap.
Oh, you're saying you're a little too bourgeois for Jack Daniels now.
Did not say that. Well, then also I don't get mixers. Like people would order a Jack and Coke. I don't do mixers because
You straight.
that adds calories.
Nah, you tell them you like it straight. You don't add nothing.
Ice.
That's not you drink it before ice melt.
They came out with a new Uncle Nearest bottle. You got to get it. It's a green label. It's Nearest Green is his name. But no, that book is you should do the audiobook to that then if you're trying to do audiobooks.
But I also want to still have the book.
You should.
But yeah. Now I don't mind reading. I just typically don't finish a book. Like especially if it's long. I don't, but when I listen to the audiobook, I finished it.
See, but I got ADD. Like I can start an audiobook and then I'm gonna get distracted because it's audio, so it's not like forcing me to. Even if I'm still listening to it and I go to the store, something I ain't gonna be thinking about. I'm not gonna be comprehending the words I'm hearing. I'm just gonna be hearing. Maybe I need to give it another try, but I can't do. It's either me. I got to read it or not. I didn't finish the Nancy Pelosi book. I thought it was gonna be something that it wasn't. Maybe because the beginning is good. It starts with a bang, and probably because she's talking crap about Trump and stuff. But then it starts getting too like Obama's book. I mean, let's be honest. Obama's book was good, but it was long, and it got
they start to lose your attention.
Don't care about. Yeah, and I appreciate the detail and talking about things that you probably think people want to hear stories about, but it starts to get boring, like real boring.
Travis said he prefers audio, and I think it's good for people. I
can't do audio,
and I like when the author of the book is the one that's reading it.
I thought the author of the book is always the person.
Well, literally, I started listening to one last week, but I didn't keep listening to it. The guy, he literally says he was the author of the book. Something happened to his voice, and so they got somebody who's a professional reader to read the book.
And I saw Fawn Weaver posted on Instagram when she went to do it because I think she had to do it in 2 days or 3 days or something. Like, depending on the book, man, let me write a book and then got to go read it. That's going to take about a week because I'm going to be messing up. And I'm like, I don't like how that sounds. Like,
yeah, dang, I forgot what I was about to say. I want to go to Tennessee. Oh yeah, listen. I could imagine Will Smith's book. Listening in his voice might be cool.
Now I wouldn't be engaged in that, but I love Will Smith. Like I grew up loving Will Smith, but I read his book. Like if it has to be something I care about. I've noticed that I cannot read fictional books. I tried it. I read Kobe Bryant's fictional book, and I only bought it because he won an award for it, and he just died. But I was like, I can't do the fake stuff. I got to read something that actually happened. But that ain't for everybody. Some people can only read Harry Potter. I can't. I cannot do it. I can't.
Yeah, Uncle Nearest Distillery road trip. I really want to go. I think it is now.
Let's do it.
It probably couldn't be a church trip going to the.
Well, no, it's a Black History trip.
It is Black History, but I mean, I don't know about that.
Ain't nothing wrong with drinking liquor. It's doing it
Well,
responsibly.
yeah, it's the drinking it itself isn't a sin. It's the overindulgence of
Right.
it that's the sin. But
And it's a
still,
Black
I don't know.
History trip. Um, they also broke a world record in there. They have the longest continuous bar in the world. This is a really long, winding bar inside one of the rooms. No, I want to meet Fawn Weaver.
Mhm.
She was in Houston recently. She was on a book tour. I don't think she came to Dallas, but she was in Houston because she talked to our Fox station in Houston. But I didn't know, I didn't know her until she started Uncle Nearest. But she was
But
already
she was
like,
somebody before
yeah,
that. Yeah.
I didn't know. She already had money. And then reading the book, and she talking about she went to the land and me and my husband cut $1 million check there on the spot. I'm like,
Yeah, she already had money.
yeah,
Yeah,
clearly.
Viola Davis she has a good story. If I'm not mistaken, I think her life is somewhat kind of like the role she played. Rough.
Your mom said, but a personal trip, not in the name of the church.
It could be a Dowden show trip, and if people from the church just so happen to go, I can't control that. But it's a Black History moment.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean, think about it. Like Jack Daniels is everyone know, even if you're not a drinker, you know what Jack Daniels is. And to find out that a Black person was instrumental in helping him create it, I mean, that pissed off some people when they found out. But I think that's cool.
And not only the history of it, but what Fawn Weaver is doing today is crazy in a good way. You know, it's one of the fastest growing.
Yeah,
and
they've been winning awards.
Yeah,
like literally, at a housewarming I went to a couple weeks ago, I gave the husband is a big whiskey drinker, and so I gave him the bottle and I gave his wife the book. I mean, it's to both of them, but I gave them the book and a bottle. So and I thought that was cool. What?
How about we do this? Okay. How about now? You might say no, or you might say no. I don't know. Right. Support Black businesses. I'm liking the engagement today, but
I don't know. People are typing.
How about we start a dialed in show? Wait, what was a cool gift? What was a cool gift?
I gave them the bottle and the book.
Oh,
Jesus.
We should have a dialed in show book club.
Okay. I'm trying to read more, but see, for me, it got to be. I can't do no fiction.
No, matter of fact, now okay, my preference is to read biographies or autobiographies, like those. That's my preference. Or memoirs, whatever.
Yeah.
But and that's majority of the ones that people have put in here: Will Smith, Whoopi Goldberg, Viola Davis. All of those are.
Yeah. We could do that. I got to read. Jimmy Carter has written so many books. I read one of his books, but my coworker was telling me it's another book that I really need to read. It was about him when it was set in the time when he was running for governor of Georgia, which you might like too. Jimmy Carter got like 10 books.
Well, he's 100.
He has a lot of many books. I read. I think it's called Perfect Life or Life. Well, it's his picture and it's a white cover. But my coworker said I need to read this book about him running for. Cause I mean, if you really look at his story, it's crazy how he became president. Because he was not known. He was a peanut farmer. He wasn't.
He was just what the country needed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different time. And then just how all these popular bands and stuff rallied around him and started having he got popular because they had concerts for him and stuff. It was just different. He was, like you said, America tends to get the president they deserve at that time. And so we'll see what we deserve in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're less than 30 days away.
Yeah. I mean, early voting starts in 2 Mondays, at least here. When does early voting start?
I believe on the 15th. That's Tuesday.
Ours start 21st.
Yeah, ours on the 15th. That's next Tuesday. I'm gonna be honest with you. If not next Tuesday, soon. I really think I'm gonna go ahead and vote. I'm just
Oh, yeah,
going
I'm
to get
voting
it.
on the first day. Yeah, definitely. Get it out the way.
Yeah.
I'm mad. Not mad. It ain't that deep, so I don't want y'all to think it's deep. The place that I usually vote, I can walk to is down the street. It's not an early voting location this year, so I gotta go to a church. That's a little further, but it's a busy church.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all make sure y'all early
Are you
vote.
saying that there's voter suppression, or you just?
No.
Oh,
And then y'all don't have this in DeKalb County. Do y'all have countywide voting? You can vote at any polling
mhm.
location. Y'all do?
Well, for early voting, you can do that, but the
We
day
have it
of,
for early and day of.
oh no, day of, you have to go to the precinct you're like zoned for,
Mm.
which
I
is
like
crazy.
that. It makes me like it's everything's digital now, so it's probably not as hard as it sounds. But if people are and you don't have a million people voting outside their precinct, but it's weird because you got to sort those things because the ballots are different.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Like if I vote and I'm in this congressional district and this judge
mhm,
and this person and I'm in the wrong, not the wrong, but you know what I'm saying? You
right,
gotta sort
it's got
that.
to pop up that
Yeah.
where you live. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But hey, supposedly, and I've said this sometimes often, they put a man on the moon, so to me, they can sort ballots. But now, when I was working the polls, we would know if you already voted. So, like when you come in,
I
it'll
would
let
hope
us
so.
know. No, I'm just saying. It to me, if it can tell that, then it ought to be able to do what you're talking about. Is what I'm saying.
And it does.
Not in Georgia.
Well, yeah, we got countywide voting
They
early and day.
suppress your vote as much as possible here.
Well, Texas has ways too. Um, hmm. So this is valid for this audience. And I had to text him to confirm. So I was watching CNN last week, but I was falling asleep. And Bakari Sellers, who I know, he was talking about, just making sure that you're still active as far as your registration status, yada, yada, yada. And he said, he was like, I have a friend in Texas. And then he said, he knows my heart. And then said, Bishop Jakes found out that he was scrubbed from the voter roll.
Mm.
And Monday, I texted Bakari and I was like, I was watching CNN. Did you say TD Jakes was scrubbed from the voter roll? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh. Because that can mean multiple things. Like, was he inactive or I know he moved some years ago to a
I was
different
just like,
county.
he recently moved.
Yeah. So it's probably that. But I mean, it's too late now. But it's important for everybody to check to make sure you're active. I was going around the office Monday and telling people to do it.
Mm.
And one of my producers said their roommate found out his said inactive. One of my friends, he used to work at Channel 2, Larry Sproul, he checked and it said he was inactive and he had just voted in whatever primary y'all had in July or something. So,
Yeah, we've
he
been doing
got
it at
straight.
church.
Yeah.
Checking people. So yeah, it's yeah, it's just one of them things. They just take you off and hope that you don't check it.
With us talking about the election, Kamala Harris, vice president, is on a media tour. And a lot of different mediums. The Call Me Daddy podcast, which is huge. Older people may not know what the heck
All
it
right,
is.
Trump.
Is what? Oh, it's the most listened to podcast by women like ever in anywhere. She was on the Howard Stern show. She was on The View. She was on Colbert last night.
She's on 60 Minutes.
60 Minutes. 60 Minutes was definitely the most challenging interview she's ever had. Some of her answers were good, some weren't. Some Republican strategists were saying, The View is usually a layup interview. And she gave an answer that even some Democrats were questioning. But she's in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. She was asked, what would you have done different in these 4 years
Yeah.
in the
She
Biden
pretty much said
administration?
nothing.
Right. But to Republicans' credit and to this talking point, okay, if you're campaigning on this is a new era and new everything, and oh, we're not going back. It's weird because the not going back is about Trump, but she's talking about a new generation of leaders, right? And if you keep preaching new, then you need to come up with something.
Yeah.
You should already had an answer of, yeah, you don't want to throw Joe Biden under the bus. You're loyal to him. You got to do that part of your job. But you also, because a Republican can turn around and say, well, if you want to do anything different, then what are you going to do different? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, plus to throw him under the bus too much would be throwing herself under the bus.
But she hasn't thrown him under the bus yet.
Trump campaign declined the invitation to the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah.
I bet they did.
No, he declined 60 Minutes.
Which is interesting because him and Republicans love to talk about how much she wasn't doing interviews.
Right.
And he does them for who he wants to do them for. Which I mean, I guess hurts her too, but still.
Right.
It's like,
I mean, she's doing, and Trump has been doing this too. Let's be very transparent. He's been doing podcasts and stuff. I think traditional media, which I am a part of, that's how I get paid. But especially the networks, they need to recognize, like, some of the pundits are like, oh, she's talking to podcasts or he's talking to podcasts. Like, people are getting their stuff. People are getting their stuff directly from social media. They're not, let's be honest, they're not watching CNN or MSNBC or even Fox News. Those are the older people who are the people who turn out to vote. But at some point, there's going to be a swing. And I'm not even talking about Republican, Democrat. At some point, there's going to be a swing.
Just in media, yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about in voters. Like, it's not just going to be the people who watch the news every day. It's going to be people who...
Because they're going to die off and the next generation going to come in. Yeah.
It's going to be people who've only heard from Kamala Harris and Donald Trump on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. Like, that's where we're going. And it might not reflect 50% in this election, but 3 presidential elections from now, that traditional media still has its role. And like I said, that's how I get paid. But you got to move with the times, and people are getting their stuff directly from their phone.
And case in point, to kind of show you, people like, even though they still have some kind of a tie to it, but when you look at Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, even Candace Owens, and when they had to part away from the networks, their YouTube platforms, their podcasts, their solo shows have blown up. I mean, like they have millions of people subscribe to them and watching them and stuff. So yeah, media and the way we get information is different. And people now, you have more options of who and what you listen to. Because Chris Cuomo, for example, when he was at CNN, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, his show was like the #1 show, at least for a period of time, when he was at CNN. But everybody at CNN don't think like Chris Cuomo. So if you really like Chris Cuomo, you literally can go on YouTube now. He has his own, but he's also on whatever that
News Nation.
Yeah. But he has his own stuff. Same thing with Don Lemon. His show is actually not that bad. I'm talking about Don Lemon show it's called the Don Lemon Show, I think. On YouTube. Even Candace Owens, I think I told you that one time before, and you was like, I can't stand. But
I still listen to it though.
Yeah.
Like clips. I don't watch it, but I consume all because it's good to see the different perspectives, and you want to know what everyone's thinking, not just people who agree with you, because you already know what people who agree with you say. I'll look at a bunch of stuff just for the information, just to soak it in.
I tell you who I can't watch that much: Joe Rogan. I don't know. I just don't like the vibe and his voice.
Oh, okay. What's wrong with his voice?
Just too aggressive. But he has one of the largest podcasts.
All right.
But I just can't. It's Have you ever watched his stand up?
Yeah.
It was horrible.
See, I watch a lot of stand-up, so
the
I watch the stand-up, just come bored.
The first half of it, I'm like, what is he talking about? but then it ended up kind of getting funny. But it was just, I don't know, maybe
Yeah, everyone has different humor too. You have to recognize that. Like,
it
there's
wasn't funny.
dry humor, there's tongue in cheek, there's just goofy. Like, I try to appreciate them all, but some of them are hard. Like, I literally, if I'm bored, used to be not. I don't do it anymore, but I'll just like look up a random comedy show. I don't even have to know who
Well,
the comedian.
yeah, but it's not as funny as it used to be, though.
Yeah, because people's humor is different.
And I think this is a whole nother conversation. Yeah, you have to be so politically correct.
Some
lot of
comedians, because some don't.
well,
And
yeah,
they don't
now,
care.
like what's his name?
Chappelle just don't care.
Yeah,
He's
Chappelle.
still funny.
But yeah, it's just, I think, I don't know. I find myself still going back watching old stuff, old stand-up comedy. So back to this book club thing. How's that gonna work
We'll start it next season.
next season?
Yeah.
Don't forget.
No, we won't.
Mm.
I don't want to start it and we got a month left.
Exactly. Bingo. Everyone gets offended, so jokes are a little less funny. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's like
it just changes out. Cause man, if you look at, and I'm not even talking about, and we ain't gonna dive too deep, but I'm not even talking about like, jokes about certain community like gay people or something. But I'm just saying, like, old comedy is just so different than now. Like, because I mean, good comedians, they didn't only just target one community and that's how they got funny.
They were just everybody.
Talking about everything. And comedians, I mean, it's interesting looking back at old stand-ups because it tells you what people were dealing with at that time, like the topics that they talked about, or you could tell if this stand-up was in 2001 after 9/11, or if it was, what I'm saying, because you hear the types of conversations that the comedians are talking about. I love comedy. It's different.
Richard Pryor would have
been Richard Pryor was hilarious. Eddie Murphy before now, like Eddie Murphy used to be hilarious. Like, man.
But because even though the stuff might have been offensive, it was funny. Like it's still funny.
And they offended everybody.
But if it's funny, it's funny.
And they didn't just pick on one. Like, they offended everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Richard Pryor called white people crackers, and then he talked about everything. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, Raw, and Delirious are all time for me. They are. Whew. That's when Eddie Murphy was funny. See, Mom said Eddie was.
But the only person now in, I guess you might say, like mainstream who doesn't care is, like you said, Chappelle. And
he don't care. Then people have tried to cancel him. He's like,
but it don't work.
People still gonna ride with me. And Chappelle's one of the greatest comedians of our time.
Yeah. Cat Williams, I love Cat Williams. He's crazy, but
I think it's just his voice that makes me laugh. Like,
if anyone else is funny too.
But I'm saying, if anyone else said that without his delivery, I don't think I would laugh.
Oh yeah, it might not be as funny.
Right. Yeah. It's his delivery. He said, shouldn't have been talking shit.
but yeah, it's all those old people. Bernie Mac, to me, Bernie Mac is a legend. That's Bernie Mac. Now, who's not funny is Cedric the Entertainer. He's not funny.
Yeah, or D.L. Hughley, to be completely honest.
Yeah, they're not that funny.
But like Steve Harvey is funny.
Oh Steve Harvey. Man, the one where he talked about when he went to Africa. That was hilarious. Steve Harvey, all of those people. Bruce, Lavelle Crawford.
Dude, Lavelle Crawford has lost weight.
All of those people. Neither of them true. I don't know what she's talking about. But yeah. So I think if we could get back to the way comedy used to be.
Oh, Travis said, are y'all implying the kings of comedy aren't the kings of comedy? Not Cedric the Entertainer.
Half of them not.
Guess so.
Only Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll watch Cedric and Dia, but I don't know.
Well, okay. Now, if we had to create, and I'm about to get to what Shamika said, but if we had to recreate the top 4 like a Mount Rushmore, take off Cedric the
Oh,
Entertainer.
see, it's gonna be a generational thing because Mount Rushmore, you're gonna say Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy,
Okay, well, no. Let's stick with Steve Harvey. Well, I guess you can't because Chappelle's not necessarily Steve Harvey's generation.
right?
So, Chappelle's
That's
not
hard.
young though.
If I had to pick 4, how many people on Mount Rushmore? Isn't it 4?
4.
I mean, you got to put Richard Pryor on there. I would put Eddie Murphy on there. Chappelle has to be
I
on
was about to say,
there.
well, Chappelle has to be. So at that point, to
Then-
me, you got to take Steve Harvey off.
Then is it Kevin Hart?
No, okay, so that's going to Shamika. She says that she doesn't think that he's that funny. Kevin
Paul
Hart.
Mooney was funny. See, yeah, in this, but this goes to the conversation I always had when growing up. People had arguments about.
Oh, basketball players.
Yeah, I think there needs to be goats of generations. There needs to be a Mount Rushmore of generations. Why can't we just celebrate multiple generations? Like, growing up, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the world for me. To some people listening, Michael Jordan was.
But
Some
they're
people
two
listening
separate
now,
generations.
LeBron is. Yeah, like it's different. And nothing wrong with celebrating all 3 of these dudes.
That's true. Ricky Smiley too. He's
Ricky Smiley is good. I don't think he Mount Rushmore. Ricky Smiley is good because we grew up in the church and he's churchy. He ain't Mount Rushmore. He ain't holding no candle to Chappelle or Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor.
I think
Or even Kevin Hart, to be completely honest.
I think if you were to do generations, I think he could get on there with certain people because if you're talking about generations, he's not with Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac.
I think he is with Steve Harvey.
I don't think so. Well, it's just I remember seeing an interview with him and he was talking about how Steve Harvey was like a mentor, but that don't mean that you're younger though.
Right.
So yeah, so that's funny. It's interesting. Like you said, same thing with sports. People got his book. Now, isn't his book about like his son dying?
Who?
Ricky Smiley.
I don't know. Ricky Smiley's 56, Steve Harvey is 64, 67.
Close, but not necessarily the same, but it's close.
Yeah.
It's not a 20, 30 year difference.
Generation, so I guess Ricky Smiley would be in like Cat Williams.
Probably.
I don't know. I just think there's different Mount Rushmores. There's no way we're going to have to keep updating Mount Rushmore because you're going to be kicking out people who are solid or who were solid for their generation. Mom said, yes, it is handling grief. Yeah, I didn't know Ricky Smiley had a book out. Did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's I think definitely everybody I think can agree Cedric the Entertainer and DL Hughley.
You just gotta axe the grind with them, huh?
Well, I'm just saying they were just there to fill in the gaps. They were not. They were not. Now, who all was on the queen, the women? I know Monique.
I can't name all the names. What is some more or something?
I don't know, but I know Monique was one of them. I don't know.
You know who? I made Mom watch it with me. What's her name? She had a new Netflix special, like Laverne, Yunel, something. What's her name?
Lunel.
Lunel.
Yeah. Well, I know she's nasty,
but this last one wasn't. Mom always said she nasty, and I was like, this one wasn't that bad, and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
and she had to sit down.
Oh, Cheryl Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you talking about. She's not nasty. Well,
no, we watched Lunel.
Oh,
she was talking about on the plane. She said, I'm an agent. She said, I said the window gonna be open because I'm sitting on the window. And she was like, she make the window open. And she said, and it need to be open on the other out.
Yeah. I just don't think anybody in your generation or my generation comes well, and I guess they got to get more in it, but nobody's funny like all these people we talking about.
Kevin
Nobody's
Hart
funny.
is funny.
He's funny,
I
but
went
he's
to one of his
not.
shows. He's funny,
He's not like.
but
He's
he's
kinda-
funny for this generation.
He's like corny funny, kind of.
But that's a type of funny.
I guess.
Man,
Yeah.
some of his older stand-ups are hilarious.
Look, to shift for just a second. Have you been cooking lately?
Yeah.
Well, you cook all the time. Monique,
Yeah.
Adele Givens, Laura Hayes, some more. Is coming. Are they all still alive?
Yeah.
You you cook a lot?
Not a lot. I need to cook more because I eat too much fast food.
Yeah, I've been saying that too. I need to cook more.
I made jambalaya again, and I made chicken fried rice over the weekend.
Tell me why I've been on this chicken beef fried rice thing like crazy for some reason lately. I've been going to
making it or
no. Been going to Touchdown and buying it.
Oh,
and
you've been buying chicken and beef fried rice?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's been good. But I've been seeing, like stuff on Instagram and mainly Instagram, but people cooking different things. And I've been like, you know what? Let me go buy some groceries and cook some of this stuff because it looked good.
So what'd you cook?
No, I haven't done it yet. I'm thinking about possibly going to the store today.
Oh, okay. I've made jambalaya a couple times this year. This is the first time. So I usually just do, I'm making it from scratch, but tomato paste and all the stuff in the seasonings. This time, I still cut up my celery, peppers, onions, sausage, and chicken, but I bought the Zatarain's box of rice they had jambalaya seasoning in the pack that you pour in at the same time. I did that. It was pretty good. It was a little less spicy, which is fine, but it was good. It was good.
Ashley said send it to her. I'm trying to find it.
What? Send what?
The thing I was talking about cooking.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I used to bookmark it, but I don't do that anymore. But I've been seeing multiple things that I want to make. I want to try to make broccoli cheddar soups when it gets cold. It's still 100 degrees here.
Wait, are you one of those people who feel like you can only eat certain things in certain seasons?
No, but like I just ain't about to eat no hot soup and it's 100 degrees outside. If I go to Panera, I'm gonna get broccoli cheddar soup.
Or on certain days, like sometimes I want certain things, and Mom will say that's a Sunday meal. No, it's
then you need to cook it for yourself. Then
it's a Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day you want to eat it.
And then do y'all see? I love this black guy. He be cooking for his family. He be having a ton of food. Have you seen him?
You told me about him.
Man, he be cooking so much, and cooking is therapeutic for some people. He cooks so much. He'll be like, we have meatloaf, catfish, fried catfish, chicken wings. Like he be having everything.
It's therapeutic for me when it tastes good.
It's weird because I agree with Ashley. Like I'm not eating soup before it gets cold, but like if I go to Panera, like I'm in the field a lot for work. So like I went to Panera last week and I got broccoli cheddar soup, but I can't see myself eating broccoli cheddar soup at home. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Oh, here it is. It was. I'm about to send it to. It was honey glazed salmon over fried rice.
Man, I had some great salmon when I just started eating salmon when I went to Alaska. Oh, so good. And they put a honey glaze over it. Oh, it was great.
Sounds like it really was. You said, oh,
Friday, Taco Tuesday. Mom said she watches that guy all the time. Yeah, so what do you be like? Like I want to make there's a lot of things I have on my list to make. Yeah.
Exactly, Travis. Why can't you eat hot soup or hot chili, but you can eat hot chicken anytime?
Because I think mentally for us, those are comfort foods to eat at certain times of the year. You ain't eating no bowl of chili in July.
You can. I don't.
Are you?
I have before. Okay, like I wanted some hot chocolate the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I really, really wanted it.
Chocolate. Uh-huh.
But I didn't have any, and I didn't want to go to the store to get it. That's the only reason I didn't drink it, is because I didn't have any. If I had some, I would have drank it, and it was hot that day. But that's what I wanted.
But soup also warms you. Like it's not eating fried chicken ain't the same as
I'm
like
not
eating
saying.
soup.
I don't think me or Travis is saying to go right like coffee. People drink coffee in the summertime.
Right. It's
I don't.
different. It's a
I don't
beverage.
think me or Travis is saying go sit out in the park when it's 100 degrees and eat a bowl of chili. That's not what we're saying. You be sitting in your house. You don't have the air conditioner on. But two, I think I will wake up at 2 a.m. and eat a bowl of cereal.
See, I've never been a big cereal person. And
You don't
one,
like
it does
cereal?
not fill you. I eat it. But I don't like. I have some, but I don't eat. It doesn't fill you. Cereal does not fill you. You can't say you eat a bowl of cereal and be like, man, that was great. I'm full for the next 5 hours. No.
Not full, but it's that I love sweet stuff, and so sometimes I just be looking for something that can kind of
Yeah, no,
sweet.
I go get a cookie or a brownie.
But what if you don't have a cookie or a brownie?
Then just take your butt to bed.
Nah, it'll wake me up. I'll wake up and
I wanted something last night. I was like, I'm just go to bed. What is your favorite cereal?
Lately, Apple Jacks.
So growing up, that was my favorite cereal. I love Captain Crunch. But cereal, it don't fill you up.
And then what I used to love when we was growing up was Frosted Flakes, pour sugar over the top, and cut strawberries and bananas and put in there. That was delicious. But you gotta have sugar and the strawberries and the bananas.
And when did you ever have strawberries and bananas?
We used to have strawberries and bananas at home, or maybe when you was gone. I don't know. We used to have strawberries and bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess your mom would buy it because she knew I liked it. I don't know, but we had strawberries and bananas.
Yeah, because Dad was in charge of breakfast when I was there.
And it was horrible.
No, it was not. No, it was not. You're not going to do that to my dad.
No,
it was not. You didn't like your stuff touching and crap. That's being a diva. That does not mean the breakfast is not good.
Not a diva. Listen. Yeah, today's episode is a vibe. But listen.
Maybe I should just be less prepared every week.
Maybe. She said 2 bowls will fill you up. No. And yes, we did have strawberries and bananas.
No, we did not.
Yes. Yeah, no, right. Get off of me. Right. Yes, we
He's
did.
not pastor on this show. Y'all gonna stop saying PM. He Micah.
Yeah, yes, we did have apples. I mean, not apples, because I wasn't a big apple fan. We did have strawberries and bananas. Listen, you made me forget what I was about to say. What was I saying?
You said Daddy's breakfasts were not good.
Oh,
and that's not true.
Now, who made it okay to add sugar to cereal? Almost took out.
See how your mom backtracked and a doggone strawberries and bananas in the morning.
Well, she said you was gone away by then. But listen,
that's what I'm saying.
Listen, his breakfast got better over the years, but
he was rushing.
But when I was in elementary school and you were here, that stuff was horrible.
No, it was not.
Man,
why was it horrible? Why was it
horrible? First of all, and this doesn't bother me as much today, but it did back then. So you
didn't like your stuff touching. That does not make it horrible.
Certain things shouldn't touch. Does
not make it horrible.
If you would let me talk, as we got only a few more minutes. The pancakes with syrup should not be in my grits. Wait, grits that are hard and lumpy. Also with the meat that's on the plate, and maybe it was just a financial struggle back then, because why was the meat every morning sandwich meat that he put in the skillet. That was
country.
disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
I hated that. Oh my god.
And that's not financial. It's
Oh my-
country. That's
oh my
people
God.
will some people look at me crazy when I said I would eat rice sometimes for breakfast.
You know,
It's a country thing. That's not a poor thing. Well,
it builds character, is what Deacon Fox said. It builds character.
grits were not your mother's grits, but they were not bad. And you being a diva saying your syrup is touching your other food, that's just because it was on the same plate. You said, why was it lunch meat? And the thing is, and maybe like now I won't buy like breakfast sausage. I'd be like, oh, I got some lunch meat. I'll put in the microwave.
His breakfast got good later, though, didn't it? He cooked my breakfast every day till he got sick. Was not a financial struggle. Well,
so what you saying, Michael? We grew up in the slums eating lunch ham for breakfast.
That was so nasty.
That's not nasty. It's the same. It's ham. Ham is ham.
No.
And he
No.
made
Well,
biscuits sometimes.
In my defense, I don't, and you guys, your mom, even around Thanksgiving and stuff, I don't like, after that first day, I don't like my ham warm. I like it cold. I don't know. But listen, Ashley said nothing wrong with some fried bologna. Tell me why. I did not know until, I don't know, a couple years ago that you weren't supposed to eat the red
I didn't know that either.
around the bologna. I did not know that.
Well, I don't like bologna, so I'm not eating it. But
I did not know that.
What a lively show, episode 36. I appreciate all the comments and the interaction. Our dad did not make terrible breakfasts. I'm not gonna let Micah do that.
Okay.
We're gonna start a book club in season 2. And yeah.
When I was in elementary school, the breakfast was nasty.
But you just said things that don't make it nasty. You just didn't like it. Your syrup touching your other food does just not make something nasty. Eating lunch meat, which is still meat, does not make it nasty. Then you just get mad that he did boiled eggs.
Oh yeah, I don't like boiled eggs either. I used to chew the red thing in the bologna. Me too. I did not know.
Micah just picky. How the heck y'all didn't know that? I'm embarrassed.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm speaking my truth.
Jeez.
From
we're gonna leave on that, and we're gonna let Daddy hunt your ass tonight.
But it should have just called Mama San. It got better. Now when I was in high school, so it was better.
What made it better?
He learned how to cook grits.
He was rushing.
It was better. But when we was young, oh no. Okay, now you blowing my mind with this. My bologna is the same as a hot dog. If that's true, I did not know that.
No, it's not. It's not true.
But I guess I could kind of see that. But I never knew that.
It got scraps of different meat in it like a hot dog, but it's not the same as a hot dog. Doesn't even taste the same.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
they do not taste the same. No, they do not.
It might. I've never thought about it.
No. Okay, you go buy you some bologna and hot dogs today.
I'm not a huge bologna fan.
I'm not either. All right. Thank you guys for watching episode 36 of the Dialed In Show. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that Micah posts this to Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well, because we have listeners on those platforms as well. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week.